pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Thompson?
Here.
Ms. Farmer?
Here.
Ms. Tucker?
Here.
Mr. Bardelli?
Here.
Mr. Marasini?
Here.
All right, now we'll go to our reorganization now of offices.
I'll take temporary chair at this point in order to proceed. I'll explain to Ms. Farmer and Mr. Toppin, since they've not done this before. Essentially, for the officerships of the board. There are nominations made first. That can be one, it could be 4 people, whatever it should be. The order of nomination then proceeds. We close the nominations by motion. We then move to a vote, and we go in the order as nominated. So, at this time, I would open up the floor.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
That's not how we did it before. We're talking about just for the board members. I'm not talking about yours. Yours.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
The past practice is it rotates.
No,
That
accurate.
people that has had it, it would rotate and someone would have a chance to have it. That's the way it was. That's what was explained to me last year when I came on board.
I never
So-
said that.
I'm
George's.
as co-chair, Lou is co-chair. So I say as co-chair, we're gonna do it past practice. So any nominations on the floor
That's not
here?
how it goes. Nobody,
That's how it went last year.
yeah, but this is not musical chairs. I mean, it's not a rotating thing. That was George Schuster's idea.
Well, that's
It's just
how
based on nominations.
Okay, that is. It is
I mean,
nominations.
that's how it's done in a meeting.
I said the floor
Like-
is open for motions. I did say that, sir.
Okay.
We'll ask for nominations at this point.
So nominate-
Chairman.
Chairman, I nominate Louis.
I second that.
Any other nominations?
I nominate Ms. Tucker.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? There being none, I'd ask for motion to close nominations at this time.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second, roll call as to closing nominations.
Mr. Thompson?
To close?
To close
Close the
nominations.
nominations, yeah.
Yes. Ms. Farmer?
No, he said to close it.
To
Yeah,
close
to
the
close the
nominations, yeah.
nominations.
There being no more people nominated,
Oh,
the
okay,
motion is
yes.
to close the nominations.
Mr.
I
Bardelli?
thought all offices was open for nominations.
You do that, but you proceed by chair first.
Oh, we got
And
the
then the
chair.
chairperson who's elected then takes over the meeting and you proceed with the other remaining officerships. That's correct.
Oh,
All right, I'll close.
Mr. Bardelli?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
no comment on
That being said, nominations closed. In order of nomination, as for a motion to appoint Mr. Marasini, the chairperson of the board. Is there a motion to?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Mr. Marasini, please.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
No.
Mr. Bardelli?
Yes.
Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
it. No.
Motion passes. Mr. Marasini is chairman of the authority. Now you proceed with the vice chair and vice chair, and we have secretary, treasurers at one position, or we have secretary and we have assistant secretary, correct? Assistant, I think it is.
Lou, you now chair.
Right.
Take over.
Thank you. All right, we'll open the nominations for vice chairman, chairperson. Is there a nomination for vice chairman? Everybody wants to be vice chair?
Yeah, I can't nominate myself.
I'll nominate, do I know, am I allowed? I'll nominate Mr. Beardelli as vice chair.
I second.
Excuse me. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Nominations are closed. Amy, please call the vote.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yeah.
Mr. Beardelli?
Yeah.
Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
Abstain.
Treasurer, you said her secretary, or is it slash secretary treasurer?
We must have a secretary. I think it's secretary treasurer, yes.
You know, I'll open nominations for secretary treasurer.
What's the fourth?
Assistant secretary.
Assistant secretary.
I nominate Ms. Farmer for secretary treasurer.
I second that.
Seconded by Mr. Thompson.
I don't know if I'm ready to take that though. I haven't been here that long. It's like, ugh.
Do you decline the nomination?
Yeah. I just don't think I'm ready for that yet.
Ms. Tucker, will you
I
accept the
decline.
nomination?
I decline.
Mr. Thompson,
If she ain't ready, how can I be ready?
you're the only one left.
It rolls downhill, don't it?
Rolls downhill, buddy.
I need help.
No problem, we'll help you, everybody will help you. All right, I nominate Mr. Thompson for secretary treasurer. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Beardelli. Amy, please call the roll.
Mr. Thompson?
Yeah.
Ms. Farmer?
Yeah.
Mr. Beardelli?
All right.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
Abstain, whatever.
Will you be comfortable with assistant secretary treasurer?
Come on, come with me, we'll learn.
Learn together.
I guess.
I'm nominating Ms. Farmer for assistant secretary treasurer.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Beardelli. Sorry, are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Nominations are closed. Please call for the vote, Amy.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yeah.
Mr. Beardelli?
Yes.
Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
Abstain.
Okay, that's it for the reorganization. Do we have any public participation over there?
Yeah, Ms. Chinsky wanted to say something?
No, that's okay. That's fine. It was just in case I wanted to. Thank you.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Now we'll go to the appointments. Need a motion to appoint Mr. Bylon as solicitor of the authority. Motion by Mr. Thompson,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Beardelli. Please call for the vote, Amy.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer? Mr. Beardelli?
Yes.
Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
Abstain.
Thank you.
Need a motion for the appointment of Wade Trim as our engineer.
I'll second that.
Make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion by Ms. Tucker. I'll second it. Amy, please call the vote.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yes.
Mr. Beardelli?
Yes.
Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes.
Thank you.
Need a motion to appoint Guthrie, Belsick and Associates, P.C. as our certified public accountants.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Beardelli. I'll second. Amy, please call for the vote.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer? Mr. Beardelli?
Yes.
Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
Abstain.
Are you saying abstain?
Whatever, meaning I'm not voting on it.
Well, there's only valid reasons for abstentions, and I don't know what the reason was. I thought I heard you say abstain, I was
Yeah.
confused. Well, I'm indicating that there's only valid reasons for abstention, like some type of conflict or whatever it might be.
I don't choose to make any statement concerning why. I just abstain, okay?
Well, you have to file it with the board through the secretary, there's a form.
The motion went through, that's all
Right,
necessary,
for every
okay?
abstention that you make, you must file on record with the authority the reason for your abstention. I believe there's a formatting that we have. If not, I know I said in the past, no abstentions.
I don't recall it either.
Yeah, that's probably,
That's all right.
provide it to you.
Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes of the January 6th meeting? Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? If there are no additions or corrections, I ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the January 6th meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Bardelli. I'll second. Amy, please call the vote.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yes.
Mr. Bardelli?
Yes.
Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes.
You'll, just as a point of reference, you'll notice there were no minutes from the meeting we had Monday because Amy does not have sufficient time to transcribe them yet. They'll be at our next meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look over the revenue report and the bills?
Not too many.
I was looking through, I do have one question for this. Mayor Drussel, is that how it's pronounced?
Meyer Druessel, that's
Meyer
the deputy
Druessel.
auditors, correct.
Says, the closed for payment, please find their invoice dated December 5th. And they have charged us $3,700. Then another dated January 13th, the amount of $1,700. It was my understanding that we told them to cease and desist in November, but we have bills for services for December and January. I'd like an explanation from them somehow. Maybe you could contact them and find out how they can bill us for services that we told them not to give us.
I already placed a call to Mr. Webster. Mr. Webster did return the call today. I was unable to fill that call, so I anticipate speaking to him at some point tomorrow. But I did review those also, and November 21st, the notice to cease and desist all work was issued, which they acknowledged receipt thereof last Monday on the 21st, and those invoices are dated for work through end of November and then into December, end of December, I believe.
Yes.
So I did have a particular issue, question regarding that myself. And then I would have to say that I received today, this afternoon, additional invoice. I don't know if it's in the bill payment, is it in the bill payment list?
Today's invoices, no, that we received today, no,
Yes.
that does not happen.
Okay. There were additional invoices provided from Mr. Webster's office, or one invoice, I'm sorry, in the amount of $343.25. And that was just regarding, it didn't have anything to do with travel attendance to meeting past Monday. It was regarding communication with myself, the auditors, in regards to the meeting dates changed. We had to do that a couple of times, et cetera. So that would be,
What was that, Bill?
$343.25. So that's not in the bill list for this month, as it was received today.
That's
But
correct.
I'll just bring you the speed as to total amounts.
It's my opinion that this bill not be paid until we get an explanation of it. I mean, that's just my opinion, that's up to the rest of the board too, but I'd just like to know how we're billed for services that we don't have.
Can you get a hold of them and find out?
I did place a call.
They never got back.
He returned a call today. I was unable to take that call. And so I anticipate talking with him tomorrow.
We didn't sign it.
No, nothing signed, I approved that one, yeah.
Can you get to the bottom of it? Why
Yes.
it's stated as it's stated?
Well, I'll ask, they won't contact me. The auditors will not contact me. I have to go through Mr. Webster's office. So I place a call into Mr. Webster, and I will present Mr. Webster with the board's inquiry.
Do you know whether that's for the auditors or for the lawyer? Does it?
That's the
a
Those are
lawyers.
for the auditors, ma'am. And then
You need to locate them.
They won't
Reach
speak
they
them.
will
with
not
him.
contact me. They go
They
through
only
Mr.
talk
Web-
through Mr.
They
Webster.
go through Mr.
You have the
Webster's.
number though, don't you?
I've called them several times without a
Okay.
return call.
I just want to know if you had their number.
I do. I've called them, and I've yet to receive a return call from their offices, and was directed by Mr. Webster to speak to them through his office. So that's how I proceed. So I will have to contact Mr. Webster to indicate what,
What's the board's wishes on that check?
If that- yeah,
Do you-
that's what
If
the
you
board-
don't, if you could approve the bills except that one
Yes,
payment,
Except that.
Well, there's two of them, isn't there?
to be invoiced.
two invoices, one
one check.
check.
One check,
You
two,
could, you could approve the
Yeah.
checks, except note that number and who it's to.
$137 an hour.
309.
That's cheap one,
and
$309 an
$309
hour, the other one is. Nice way to make a living. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report and pay the bills except for check 33237?
Make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Baradelli. I'll second it. Amy, please call the vote.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yes.
Mr. Baradelli?
All right.
Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes.
Okay, on to correspondence.
Okay, the first one is from Washington County regarding our Tier 2 reporting program. On that note, in the past, we used to have to report as a hazardous chemical site,
We have to go in.
okay, in which we will do this year up to a certain day whenever that was discontinued.
What do they charge us for that nowadays?
I think it's just because we're an authority that it's just reporting. that we
Just
have to do.
reporting.
Okay, and I'm also working on, I'm trying to get a hold of someone through there to give me some guidance on, do I still need it to be so involved as an emergency response plan, since we don't have
We had
it?
to have a 5-mile radius.
Correct, 2-mile radius. for
Radio,
reporting,
yeah,
yes.
radio contact.
But we're just tweaking it, and I think we're just gonna submit it the same way. Better, overkill is better than less.
Yeah,
Letter 2 is from the Borough of Denora, appointment of Rick Delatry to the Sewage Authority Board. Number 3 is a letter from John Harhide regarding the rescinding of the December 26th appointment of Brooke Farmer. Number 4 is a letter to the authority from Mr. Harhide, City Administrator, regarding the motion of the City of Menneson on the January 6th to advertise for the vacant position of the Sewage Authority. 5 is a letter on Mr. Harhide regarding the removal of Brooke Farmer on her appointment to the Sewage Authority. Number 6 is a statement from the Bell Vernon Credit Union on our current balance. 7 is from the Redevelopment Authority regarding the LSA account, just the standard information. Letter 8 is a letter received from Wade Trim pertaining to the long-term control project, Phase 2, Seneca Street CSO facility, part of this final certificate. Number 9 is a letter to the authority from a TAZAC law office in regard to the removal of Brooke Farmer from the Sewage Authority Board. 10 is a letter from Pennsylvania American Water that there's a 2.28% rate increase. 11 is documents from the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System. It's just our pension plan documents updated. 12 is a letter from the Department of Labor and Industry regarding the elevator periodic testing, hydraulic testing, I should state. 13 is Judy Guyon. It's just a notice that repealing of the Cadillac tax of 2020. Number 14 is a letter dated January 21st from Shimizi Law regarding the removal of brick farmer. 15 that was typed wrong on there. That's a Environmental Protection Agency report that I submit to them. It's our annual biosolids report. Number 16 is a letter from the Borough of Denor, the appointment of Tommy Thompson to the Sewage Authority Board. 17, notice received regarding a rate increase from the Charleroy Water Authority. 18 is a rebate check from $321.27 from the PA One Call system. And number 19 is a letter from the Washington County Commission regarding the Washington County Census of 2020. On that note, they asked us to notify or put in a public place posters of reminding citizens that would come here and just asked us for their support to put on the doors, on the windows, that kind of stuff to remind people of the National Census Day. It's April 1st. And I told them we would abide by that for asking. There's little things that we can do to help them out, Washington County. And we're even going to look into, on our March bills, put on there just a little note that says remind all the citizens that they need to complete their census report, if the board doesn't have an issue with that.
How many PMA customers we have? That's like, did you say?
A couple on top of the hill on Carroll
That's
Township,
that's
yes.
one.
Three.
Three.
I knew it was a couple. Threw me off guard. I know
Sorry,
it was not.
I just heard you. Any questions on it?
Is the
Sorry.
board okay with that census notices? Everybody's
Yes.
okay with that?
Yeah, put it on there.
Okay.
Any questions about the correspondence? Okay, we'll continue with the manager's reports.
The first one is Carlin Belsick on our auditor report. Every 2 years, we have to have an actuarial done for our post-employment benefits. And every 2 years, Carlin does that, has an outside firm do that. The guy's name is Mike Pisola. Just letting the board know that that's something that's done annually or biannually, every 2 years. Okay? The next thing I'd like to discuss is currently, and we just started to discuss this in our office with the office personnel. We are trying to figure out why we're inundated with phone calls. We come up with the answer is that we do not charge when we take a payment over the phone for credit card services. So if they did it online, they're charged a credit card fee. And I know it was the board choosing before to absorb that cost, which I don't think is fair to all the people, all the citizens, and the majority of them don't use that we're paying for credit card fees to the citizens that do. I just think it would be in our best interest that if the board's wishes, we're starting to look into the fees, and actually I would like to look into, see if there's a service out there that on our phone system, if they would hear our phone system and it says press 1 to make a car payment, and it would go to a third party. I'm starting to put out there
Usually it's the other way around. Usually you pay online, it's free. When you call in, you do it over
I'm
the
just
phone,
telling you the
but
way
you
the
take
board
it-
chose to do it.
Yeah, how
okay?
long ago was that?
That's quite a few years ago, okay? And we have been absorbing those fees.
And what are them fees? What, approximately how much is that a year?
I don't know the dollar figure, I think it's 2.65% that we absorb, okay? and I'm sure there's a tier, okay? I'm Tommy, we just started looking into this, okay?
Look into
I don't
it,
have
come
no
back.
hard facts.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean-
but I just wanna let you know that what we're looking into, okay? That's something I think we need to, look into. I personally feel everybody's calling in to make phone payments, cause there are no fees. If you go on our
They're
website,
strapped, our customers are strapped, they're strapped.
everybody is.
I see his point, though, why should someone get a free pay and the other ones are getting charged whatever, 2.5%
Why
or
should we
whatever for their,
subsidize?
I would
Yeah.
like to say the older generation don't get on the computer, so you're gonna punish them.
They're gonna use the
That's right.
phone, correct?
Yes, they are.
yeah.
I mean,
I
Most of
agree.
them don't have it, they don't
That's me.
understand nothing about it.
That's right.
And that's why I think, I think there's a service out there that we should be able to put on our phone system. And we just started looking into this. I put feelers out there to see if it's available. If anybody knows of that service, press 1 if you want to talk to Amy, press 2 if you want to talk to Ashley, 3 to pay a bill, and it would take you away from us. You know what I'm saying? It would lighten
and it
our
would
load.
charge you. There'd be a fee for that.
Then their services would be a fee. You know, it's just an idea. We're trying to come up with an idea here to lighten the load.
We find an idea of how many use that service.
There's a lot.
A lot of people use them.
The majority of them, I gotta agree with Mrs.
And
Tucker. I'm not great on a computer, but I'll call a phone, you know.
and these
Go ahead.
and the newer and Monesson have more of an older generation than younger generation. They trying to leave here.
I agree with everything everybody's saying,
You're
okay?
just
I'm
gonna
just
look
saying,
into
I'm looking for
Yeah.
a service
Yeah.
that press 1 to make a payment instead of a person. It would go to a computer, you know?
Let's find out.
It would go to a service.
You'll find out for us.
We're looking at, I'm just bringing it up,
Yeah.
just telling you, just we're looking into,
Thank you.
okay?
Let's do it.
Still no word from the union. We sent a letter, I think it was in November, to ask for dates. I touched base with them last week. I still haven't had anything. I told them we had a meeting. If they would provide us dates by today, that we could go from there. I still haven't heard anything. And I touched, on the census. Everybody's okay with that. Our Denora pump station project is in full swing. And that's all I can say on there. And the next thing I have is on March's meeting, that we will have a debt service payment of $831,779.14 in checks, for everybody's knowledge. In November of roughly 2.1 million. That's all I have, Jim.
Okay, we'll go on to the solicitor's report, please. Sorry, are there any other questions for our manager? All right, we'll go on to the solicitor's report.
Yeah, the only, I guess, report I have would be that currently still working on the policies that the board had previously asked me to undertake. So they're still in process. And I didn't know if stemming from Monday's meeting last week, is there anything additionally the board would like me to look into with respect to policy as per the discussion that evening from Meyer Druser?
What did he recommend? for
Recommendation
ACH?
is certainly for ACH transactions, should have a drafted policy for that. And, he went into the travel expenses as well. There should be a
Some
policy.
kind of travel policy.
Policy for travel, that's correct. Those are the two he highly recommended. We didn't present anything other than that. So I didn't know what the desire was. I didn't start doing anything with those whatsoever.
Credit cards.
Yeah,
That was
and
recommended.
travel, yeah.
Is that should be added in with the travel, right?
Yeah,
And we'll look over that, the board, when we get done with it?
Well, yeah, it's gonna take me a while to put things together, and then I'll disseminate to all board members for review. And I would be glad to take your input as to if you want changes or modifications, whatever that might be. And
Did he mention the credit cards?
I don't know if he specifically mentioned the credit card. I think that was within the travel policy and the
something we might want to look into.
Well, we could
as a
also do,
board.
yeah, credit card also, is also, I suppose I can take a look at. That's, I was feeling to see what the board wishes were with respect to
Well,
this.
that's what they're recommending. I think we ought to get some policies in place.
Yes. Other than that, I have no further report, unless there be some questions I can answer for any member of the board.
And you will, when you say you will, get to Mr. Webster about this, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
replaced the call in, and he returned the call, I couldn't take it at the time he called back, and I missed him in return, so I suspect tomorrow I'll be speaking with him.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for the solicitor? Okay, we'll move on to the engineer's report.
Just a summary of the projects that we're working on. The long-term control plan phase 3 design is well underway. That's for the property adjacent to the Denora pump station that the authority recently acquired. There's a 2 million gallon tank and a 15 million gallon per day pump station that we're designing on that property. That the intent would be that to go out to bid later this year. Construction would occur in 2021 for the newer board members' information there. As far as the other next project is the blower improvements project. If everyone recalls last board meeting, you authorized adding the main motor control center to that project. That is moving forward. I requested that the authority provide a filing fee of $500 check to be filed to DEP. That's for the water quality part 2 permit associated with that project. So I just need a motion to approve us to submit on your behalf an application for the water quality part 2 permit for the blower improvements project.
Could I have that motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Bardelli. I'll second it. Amy, please call for the vote. Pardon me?
I'll start with you. Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer? Mr. Bardelli?
Yes.
Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes.
The next project that's in construction is the Denora Pump Station Screening Improvements Project. SET is the general contractor working on that. Next Gen Industrial Services is the electrical contractor. SET Inc., the general contractor, is presenting their first pay application this evening in the amount of $91,305. That's a part of their total contract price of $598,500. They present payment periodically throughout construction for our review. We're satisfied with the work that they've indicated is complete and ask for the board's approval of this pay application number 1.
You have a motion for the pay application number 1 for SET
I'll make that motion.
by Mr. Bardelli. I'll second. Amy, please call the vote.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer? Mr. Bardelli?
Yes.
Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes.
On the satellite treatment facility, just want to make the board aware, we did collect a sampling event here today. That's the ongoing testing of that facility, evaluating its ability to treat the water as it was designed. We did collect a sample event today. We have about another couple of months where we'll continue to try to capture events. They think actually tomorrow might be a possibility.
Because of the rain?
I'm sorry?
Because of the rain?
Correct.
Yeah, the only time we can,
The rain or the
Test.
snow melt.
So then you,
that's the only time it's
how long we
active.
gotta keep doing it?
It was 6 months initially, so 6 months ends. It ends pretty soon. But we have to make sure we've had enough events, so we're kind of evaluating that to determine we've had enough. We had some challenges with capturing events at the beginning of the festival.
Because if it rains on 3 to 11 or midnight or on weekends, we don't test. You know, the employees aren't there at that time. So we're trying to squeeze it in during daylight.
Only other thing I have, barring any questions, is the resolution number 1 of 2020. It's the 2018 construction fund requisition number 15. Total amount of $20,025. Just need a motion to approve resolution number 1 of 2020 for that construction fund requisition.
Can I have a motion for that, please?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Baradelli for the 2018 construction fund requisition number 15. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Thompson. Amy, please call the vote.
Mr. Thompson? Ms. Farmer? Mr. Baradelli?
Yes.
Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes.
And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions for our engineer? Okay, on to old business. Do you have any comments?
Old business.
Yes, all the way, it's number 15 at the bottom, towards the bottom.
I see you have down your probation for part-time employee ends tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
What are we gonna do with him?
that's the board's wishes.
I got a couple of questions, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
I mean, I'm new, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Mr. Salat,
Mm-hmm.
this position that is on probation right now, he went on probation in around November.
Yeah, whenever,
And
he
it's
was
a
a summer
90-day
help. He was summer help, and then the board hired him as a part-time help.
Okay, this position that we're talking,
Mm-hmm.
did you bring it to the board?
No.
Did you bring it to the board?
No.
Well, who-
I never
Never
asked for
mind.
an employee.
Never mind. Do we need a full-time position?
No. We do not even have it in our budget.
Do we need a full-time position?
Same answer.
We have gone 3 or 4 years without that position.
Just because we have the automation.
That's correct.
So long as I'm straight.
Whenever I had a man retire and a man went on disability, we eliminated the midnight shift, and that's whenever I come to the board, not the midnight shift, I'm sorry, the weekend, we installed electronic equipment to do our testing as per our NPDES reporting, and the board's approval was to buy the equipment instead of employees.
Do we have the money, you put him on in November, correct? We had a budget meeting in December.
In November.
November. And it was brought up at this time, at that time, there was no money in the budget for that position.
There's no money in the budget.
No.
What's that position pay a year? With hospitalization and everything?
What's he gonna pay to that, $22?
With hospitalization,
Well, with the insurances that we
With
got
insurance
provided, he
process.
doesn't, this employee wasn't,
approximately how much?
With insurance, I'd say close to 60 grand.
well, he doesn't get hospitalization. The last employee got hospitalization from day one. This one did not. You're looking at $50,000 a year, plus
It's
his
not in the budget.
life insurance, that kind of stuff.
We hired him tonight.
You-
How we-
You either have to.
Whoa, whoa.
Go ahead,
If we hire him tonight, it's not in the budget, how are we gonna pay him?
raise the rates. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't ask for him to be hired.
You did not
I
ask.
did not ask for him to be hired.
How about I make this easy? How about I entertain a motion to terminate the part-time employee at this time?
I'll ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Can you lay him off?
Right.
You might need him.
Then, being laid off, you could be called back. Just like
Laid
any
off.
other laid off person.
We have,
You lay him off, you ain't paying him nothing.
what was the statement?
Lay him off. I said terminate, she said lay him off.
Mr. Bilo,
Depends on what the board intention is. If you want to sever employment with the gentleman completely, you would terminate. If you want to furlough the man,
Man, Mark, you're not obligated to him. It says you might call him, but you don't have to call him back.
Right. Well, I'm just
So-
gonna say, furlough, you would no longer be working,
Or either way, you're gonna pay.
you definitely won't be receiving benefits nor accruing any
Either
seniority.
way. Now, wait a minute. If he's laid off, he can,
Furlough,
no, I'm saying if he's laid off, he can collect checks.
I don't know, that's up to him to file.
Yeah.
But do we pay something on that end?
On unemployment,
Yeah.
we belong into a PMAA agency, that solvency fee, if I'm not mistaken, that's what it's called. Correct. It covers that.
So we're not paying it out of our pocket.
No, you're paying for the insurance, but
Okay.
what
You're already paying for the insurance,
Yeah.
right?
what we do through PMAA is in order to avoid me having to go and defend the authority
Okay.
on any filing, it's automatically covered through that agency. When a claim is submitted, they then generate a set of paperwork, documentation, forward it to us to complete and fill out.
Yeah.
We do that, we send them the supporting documentation they request, and then they make determination whether to dispute or to let the payment go forward. And that's independent agency that we pay for that service.
I recommend layoff so he can lease,
Would you use the word
get some
furlough?
money
Furlough.
until he get another job. 'Cause it's hard times out there.
Furloughed. I have a, go ahead, Tom.
You know, I just got on here, I'm not here to get rid of nobody. But how can I justify the 5,500 customers, we're paying $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 when our general manager, our plant manager that knows more about this building than anybody says we don't need that position. I don't want to hack anybody, but I wouldn't be able to go outside knowing if I did this. Somebody would punch me in the face. If I was a customer, I would.
But my thing is this, I don't know him. I did vote for him to get a part-time job, keep that part-time job. But my thing is this, we could get rid of him, but how are we gonna make bills trying to get another system in the office for telephone calls? We seem to be able to pay money for one thing and no money for another thing.
Well, that's up to
So,
him. Some
If
departments
you're
might
gonna
need
do
help in
anything,
this.
that's why I say lay the man off so he can at least get some money till he get another job. We're not
Okay.
paying nothing.
That's your motion to furlough the part-time employee?
I don't know if furlough and layoff is the same thing.
Well, that's what I need help here.
Oh, I advise you use the word furlough.
Well, here's the thing, and I think Mrs. Tucker's on the same page. I don't know the wording, but it's no fault of me, and I'm not gonna apologize, but I heard good things about this, he's a good worker.
He is.
Is there
Absolutely.
such
Very
thing
good worker.
I don't
Is there
know.
such
It's a good
thing
worker. I'm not saying it isn't.
as keep him on, and if somebody goes on vacation, or do we need a guy for that?
We have done it for 4 years without that. That's how we have our scheduling set up. And we have it set up with a agreement between the workers, that one
In other
group goes
words,
on
Two
vacation,
guys, or guys on vacation.
that's
we-
our job to work it.
We got enough people to.
Yes, we do.
And you know your plan.
Yep.
I'm not arguing, I just,
Yep.
like I said, I'm not gonna apologize, but I kinda feel bad. It wasn't my making.
Well,
So there
since we're
can't be
gonna go
nothing
ahead.
as, like you said, as needed
Yes.
employee.
We've had it set up for
Yeah,
4
that's what
years
you're
at
saying.
least, since Tracy went on disability and Dennis Moulton retired, okay? That we have it set up that there's 2 groups, one guy from each group goes on vacation, and there's fill-in.
Right.
Sean, correct? We've had that for 4 years.
Well, I make a motion, whether it's, I don't know how you wording it, but I want it so, I want to make a statement that I want it known, I want him to be able to collect money, if he can. So it's furlough, layoff, the young man, that's my motion.
Motion by Mrs. Tucker to furlough our part-time employees.
I second it.
Second by Ms. Farmer.
Now, by saying furlough,
Good.
will he be able to collect unemployment?
If he
That's not
files
for
for
me.
it,
It's
yeah.
It's up to him to determine.
He has to file, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Give him a
And that
chance.
is effective today, correct?
Well, we
Well-
can vote on it, right?
Yeah. Amy, please call the roll.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer? Mr. Vardelli?
Yes.
Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes.
And with respect to his filing, if that agency determines it's frivolous, they've never asked us whether we want to defend these actions or not, except the one case they did. Am I to place a call to them and tell them that you do not want to contest the man's unemployment? Is that what you're?
Yeah,
Indicated?
I don't think we
Because
should
he did a
contest
good
it.
job, why you wanna kick him?
Yeah,
in?
that's
Why
not
he's
kicking all the
down?
way,
I'm
yeah.
asking for a direction, that's all.
Yeah.
That was-
We all agree? If they do ask us, we're not gonna protest him filing for
I
it.
agree.
That's fine. Tom, you okay with that?
Yes.
He may not be eligible, you gotta jump back a quarter and then add everything in.
Well, he
So,
can try.
It's a possibility.
He's been
but
working with us since
May.
May.
Right.
He might have 9 months.
I think that's enough.
Tonight, I don't know what
You
the,
gotta have a high quarter and a low quarter. That was 50 years ago.
yeah, I don't know what it is now. No, I have no idea. Okay, under new business, well, we discussed that, didn't we? Discussion regarding the credit card fee payments, that's what you and Amy had discussed?
Yeah, that's just,
Okay,
something we're starting to
look into.
look into.
Okay. Any other business before the board? Being no other business before, I'd like a motion to adjourn.
If I may,
Oh,
Mr.
sorry,
Chairman.
go ahead.
Okay, so I want to contact the individuals. Am I to request an itemized breakdown of the costs associated? Because my other concern was, if you look at the invoice themselves, from Meyer
Go ahead.
Drusel, all they're indicating is that they have
Ours.
period of service, and then they have the staff member, the amount of hours and the rate charged for per each hour, and then a total. There is no itemized breakdown of anything that
Yeah.
they would have done.
Ask them for an itemized breakdown.
I will
Just putting down that they gave us 7 hours doesn't mean much to me.
And that is tabled till next meeting, correct?
yeah, it was not paid.
We're
right?
not gonna pay.
We're not paying that bill,
I just
yeah.
wanna make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, we're not paying that until we get an itemized list, until he gets a report whenever they
And
contact him
We'll have that for
back.
next month.
Yes.
One last thing that I have on my notes, the May, I don't even know what day it is, the May meeting.
11th.
The 11th, I will not be able to attend. Let the board, let me know what your wishes are, if we want to move the meeting, or I will not be here for that meeting.
Just that one day.
That whole week, that day of the meeting, I will not be there.
So you,
I'll be
what
at my son's
day is
wedding
the
for-
meeting?
Day
Week
is a
of
Monday.
May 9th.
Monday, we're always,
So you're off all week, you
All
won't be
week, I
around.
will not be
So we'd
able
have to go before or after.
Correct. Just let us know.
can you delegate your authorities to
What
Sean?
is, what is the regular, you said 11,
Yes.
May
That's
11th.
May
May 11?
10th.
That's the meeting day.
No, you're right, 11th, yeah, 11th.
Meeting day's May 11th.
All right. Put it down on the 19th then, how about that, everybody? That's
Well,
a-
everybody talk about it, let me know.
Yeah, we got a month.
All right.
Right, we got-
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple
We
more.
got,
Even if it's like a
in
Thursday
case
before
some, yeah, in
that.
case somebody else's schedule might conflict by then.
Well, for years, we got our
Maybe, yeah. But I'm just saying, I just
Yeah,
want
you
everybody
can't
to
move
know
it too
in
far
advance.
back because,
Because if it's too
Oh, you
close,
don't?
it's too much of a workload for the bills and the meeting.
right, that's what it says, so we actually want it
That's
after
what
that.
screwed
10th.
us up last month.
Right.
Bills and the meeting,
18th.
it's too
Yeah.
much of a workload.
All right, any other business before the board? May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Cardelli makes a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Ms. Parker. You were like simultaneous there. Amy, call the vote. Tommy. Thomas.
Tom, you
Hey,
gotta vote.
Tommy, yes.
To adjourn.
Yes.
Ms. Farmer? Mr. Vardelli? Mr. Marasini?
Yes.
Yes.